2024 is approaching quick, and now's a really good time to start reevaluating our lives in order to have a fresh new start in January. January 1st also lands on a Monday, which is like the most perfect start to a new week, a new year, a new month. Like, it couldn't get any more perfect. Now, don't get me wrong, I think that every day, every week, and every month should feel like a fresh new start. But I can't lie that a new year just feels so magical in its own way. In 2023, I worked tirelessly to change my life for the better, and that in turn has made this year one of the best years of my life in a long time. Like, even though it was a very difficult year, I can say that it's one of my favorite years, if not my absolute favorite year. I can really account this year to the 5 steps that I took and still keep in mind and reevaluate every now and again just to make sure that my life is still staying on the track that I set out for it. Without further ado, these are 5 steps I believe will bring you to your highest self in 2024. Step number 1, I would say, is to sit with yourself. And I know that sounds pretty like, what do you mean? I don't mean literally just sit there and like wait for answers to come your way. I mean just like sit with yourself and ask yourself some really hard questions. Maybe like type it out, journal it, sit with your thoughts and like figure out what you want. I feel like whenever I make a video about figuring your life out, or even if I'm just like talking about this topic, the very first thing I always say is like, what do you want? What do I want personally? Because how are we ever supposed to do anything or really progress in life or get to the place that we want to get to if we don't even know what we want? Figuring out your purpose, figuring out like why am I on this earth, what am I called to in this life. I would say also to sit down and determine your values, morals, and integrity. Your values are your standards of behavior, so basically how you want to live your life. Morals is the right and wrong, so what do you perceive as right and wrong, and integrity is how do I live within my morals and within my values in life. Those help you see what your purpose is in life and how you view everything to help you see your path in life more clear. I would just say reflect on your year as a whole and just be like, who was I this year? Am I happy with who I was, the versions of myself that I was in this place in my life right now? Am I somewhere that I would want to be? If not, am I still content and happy with where I am? The last thing I will say for this first step, I came up with 5 questions to a fulfilling life, and I actually talked about this in one of my videos like a long time ago. This actually helped me understand myself more too. So the first question is, who am I? But these are like journal prompts, honestly. And just so you know, your name, height, your weight, race, your gender, those don't actually define you. They aren't who you are to your core. They're just labels to help you be identified in the real world. Who are you to your core? Second question, what makes me happy? Can just be anything and everything, and go into depth when you're talking about it. The little things, the big things, what makes you happy? The third question is, what do I want out of life? And I'm not talking like,
oh, I want like $1 million and I just want to do whatever I want.
What do I want out of this life? Basically my purpose. The fourth question is, when can I be my full self? And this is a very vague question too, because who even is your full self? You're learning a lot about yourself, but when do you feel like you're completely who you are? Do you only feel that way when you're at home in bed in your room? Or do you feel that way when you're with your friends? Do you even feel that way with your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your family? Or do you only feel that way when you're playing a sport or when you're like working towards something? When do you feel your full self? And the last question is, what am I willing to give for happiness? And I'm not talking just like,
oh, I'm just so happy and butterflies everywhere.
I'm talking, what am I willing to give for myself? What am I willing to sacrifice and risk for myself to be happy? A relationship, a job, a living situation, literally anything. What are you willing to give for the sake of yourself? The second step I would say to reaching your higher self in 2024 is to determine what is holding you back. I would say ask yourself, what are the things that feel like are restricting you from being your full self or feeling like not even just happy but like content, fine with life? Like, what is holding you back? Is it your relationship, your job, your living situation, your family, is it yourself? Do you just feel like you're holding yourself back? Are any of these things that you have determined that are holding you back realistic to change? You can cut anybody out of your life. Is your job realistic to leave? Maybe not, because you probably have rent or a mortgage or bills, so it might not be as realistic to change, but at least we acknowledge that that's the thing that's holding us back. The first step is acknowledging a lot of things. Acknowledging what we want out of life and acknowledging what is keeping us from getting there. Are you ready to take the next steps to forgive yourself if you're the one holding yourself back? If you don't have the capacity to be able to forgive yourself, at least we know that like I'm the one holding myself back, and I want to work towards forgiving myself and continuing to build a better relationship with myself so that I do not prohibit myself from reaching my goals and just being happy. Because what does a freed version of myself look like? What does it feel like? And if you don't know what that looks like or feels like, what do you want it to look like? What do you want it to feel like? And then ask yourself as well, can the things that are holding you back right now make you happy right now and in the long run? I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you feel like this person or this thing or this situation is holding you back from reaching your higher self and being happy and being truly yourself, then it's not for you. It's not meant for you. And the reason why you're having these feelings, and probably the reason why you clicked on this video, is because the universe or God is trying to tell you to make that move, to just do it already. And you know what you need to do. The problem with, I feel like, a lot of people who have a lot of expectations on like having goals and like wanting things to happen for them in life, people don't actually sit down and think about things. All I've told you so far is to sit down and ask yourself what you want and then determine what's holding you back. All we've done so far is just dive inwards. We haven't even actually done anything yet because the first step is always with awareness. Step 3, I would say, is to determine your goals and establish your systems. This is when we actually take a little bit of action. You know what it is that you want, or at least for now, you know what it is that you want. Because goals change, plans change, life changes. Plans never go according to plan, okay? But for right now, we know what we want. We've determined what's holding us back. So how can we create realistic and measurable goals to get to where we want? And realistic goals, I'm not saying like, oh, okay, my goal is to make $1 million in a year. I mean, I'm sure that's possible. Is it realistic for your current situation? If it's realistic for your current situation, then yes. But what's realistic for your current situation? Tied in with that is measurable goals. Measurable being, let's make short-term goals and long-term goals. Let's make daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, quarterly goals. There's so many different goals that we can make, cut up into smaller areas so that they're more realistic and more time sensitive. Because if we look too far in advance, like I said, plans never go according to plan. Things can change so quick. And your feelings could change. The things that you want and desire could change. There's steps that I can take to get there. This is a way I can build up to slowly compounding daily. Creating systems is something I learned in a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. I'm sure y'all heard of it. It talks about how you can establish better habits in your life in order to get to a place where you really want to get to and just to reach your goals in general. I think the quote says, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. So what he means by that is you don't make a goal and you just like strive to be that goal, be that goal, be that goal. You fall to the habits and the daily routines that you've implemented to try to get to that goal. Because the only way that you're actually going to get to that goal is if you set realistic and measurable goals, like daily habits, daily routines that end up slowly compounding over time in order for you to grow into the person that deserves that goal. You still need to grow. You still need to put in the work to becoming that person. And once you believe that's who you are, this self, you being happy and content and amazing, like once you believe that is a part of your identity and you just have to tap into it, once you believe that, you just automatically have that sense of passion in you. You can't lose it. Nobody can take that away from you. You have to like work every day to become that through the small things that you do in life, through how you treat people, through how you look at yourself and treat yourself. So yeah, I think that makes sense. I don't know, I'm like low-key out of breath because I was talking without breathing for a little bit. So step 4, I would say, is to finally take action and let go. What I mean by taking action is to just do it. Just keep doing it until it's second nature. And once it's second nature, nobody can take that away from you, and then never ever stop. You keep doing the things that you set yourself out to do. You keep working on your systems. You keep modifying it to grow as you grow and change. You keep forgiving yourself. You keep forgiving yourself for breaks that you take, for the times that you're gonna slip up, because we're all human. it's gonna happen. You forgive yourself for that and you bring yourself back up and you keep going and you let go. You let go of the expectation to be perfect. You let go of the expectation of getting to your goal at a specific time, and if you don't get it, then you failed. Because your goals can always be modified. Even your measurable goals can be modified. You said I want to reach this goal by the end of quarter 2, and the end of quarter 2 comes and you didn't reach it. That just means you have more time to grow. You have more time to reach that goal. You determine when reaching that goal is not on the cards for you anymore. You also need to work on letting go of your past. Letting go of the past version of yourself and letting yourself mourn these versions, these changes that you're making. Let yourself go through that grief, but also letting go of it so that you can keep growing higher. Because if you stay attached to the past version of yourself or the past lives that you lived, you're never going to be able to step into your higher life. If you keep letting things or people or places or feelings even hold you back, you're never going to get to where you need to be. And you have places to be. You have big things to do. And there's always going to be those things that try to keep you in the place that you were. If they can't grow with you, they can't go with you. Simple as that. The 5th step is to hold yourself accountable. Keep doing your introspection, keep journaling, keep asking yourself these questions, and keep reevaluating goals that you made, who you are. Keep just like checking in on yourself. Like you can keep track in a journal. You can journal every day. You can keep track by photos, like progress photos, like say you're doing like a fitness thing, progress photos, or even video. If you just take a video at the end of every week or the end of every month, and you're like, this is my life update, this is how I feel at the end of this month, these are some of the things that like happened that I feel good about and I'm learning, and like vlog your daily life to like look back onto. Even when I look back at pictures, like when I first started working out, even though I'm not the place strength wise where I want to be over the years because I've just been inconsistent at times, I still look back and I'm like, wow, I really have done so much. Or even the times where I even looked better and I was stronger, I'm like, wow, I want to get back to that point. Like that point was possible for me, and I know that I can do that again. I don't know, you can even make Instagram pages, even do YouTube. YouTube holds me accountable. Seek help if you need it. Use the people around you. Seek advice from them. See what you can learn. Keep your mind open to possibilities that you don't have to be the only person that helps you grow. Like you don't have to be in this journey alone. Therapists are really good to go to too, to hold you accountable. I mean, there's sometimes where I'm going to therapy and I'm like, I'm good, like I don't really need help. Like the past 2 weeks I've been fine. But then we talk about stuff and then I'm like, you know, this still helped me in a way because I was reminded things I still need to work on, but the things that I've also overcome. That is it for this video, you guys. I hope you all enjoyed. This is just my tips to reaching your higher self in 2024. I just personally think that these are some really good steps to take, and I personally take them as well, and they have helped me and they continue to help me, so I thought I'd share it with you guys. I'm excited for the new year because there's so much growth to be had for us, and I'm excited for us to see where we go. This is an amazing platform for me to really just be who I am and hold myself accountable towards my goals. So I love you guys so much and thank you for that. I can't believe it's already almost 2024. This is crazy. Let me know down below too if there's anything in 2024 that you are looking forward to, or if you have any systems that you're trying to put in place. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Mwah. Bye.